Hey everybody, I'm ZombieJohnny. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what is the precursor to one of the most popular manga of all time. This is Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was written and illustrated by Akira Toriyama and published by Shonen Jump in Japan and Viz Media in North America. Dragon Ball was written and published in 1984. What? I seriously had no idea that it was this old. Dragon Ball is a story about a young boy named Son Goku. He is a simple boy who lives in the forest with his grandpa. Sadly, Goku's grandpa died and now he is all alone. But there's no need to worry about Goku. He is a super boy with superpowers and a monkey tail. I don't think I need to continue too much in explaining the story because it's one of the most famous manga and anime of all time. Quickly though. Goku meets Bulma. Bulma is looking for the Dragon Balls. Goku has one. Goku joins Bulma on her quest and the real adventure begins. The story was inspired by Journey to the West by Wu Cheng-en. It's honestly so different from Dragon Ball Z. It's silly, lighthearted, funny, perverted, and of course the real big similarity is that it is action-packed. But the differences outweigh the similarities. The art style is less angular than Dragon Ball Z, but it still maintains that classic and iconic Toriyama style. There were so many panels in this series that I thought, damn, that looks good. And there's really nothing going on in the panel. The characters are doing the simplest things and it still looks so good. All of the fights in Dragon Ball were more based on the challenge and not power levels. Goku loses a lot. And I mean, I know that Goku loses in Dragon Ball Z, but this is kind of on a different level. I mean, his losing isn't super surprising because he's just a little kid, but in Dragon Ball Z, everyone is so focused on power levels and who has the higher one and suppressing their power levels that it just gets lost. A lot of people that Goku face are really just people. They aren't all crazy intergalactic invaders whose only purpose is to destroy the world. Most of them are just regular people who have developed some sort of martial art. Actually, that's really the main focus and it's mentioned a lot through the story, and that's martial arts. Who they trained under, what style they use, that's more important than any power levels or being, like, able to go Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. What the hell is that? And the real biggest difference of Dragon Ball is that it's about Dragon Balls. I feel the true meaning of Dragon Ball is lost in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. They're just small side stories in Dragon Ball Z, not the main focus. Nearing the end of Dragon Ball Z and in Dragon Ball Super, most of the people that they face are powerful enough to rule the galaxy without even having the Dragon Balls. Maybe they use them to revive people sometimes, but after a while, Goku can pretty much come and go out of the spirit world as he pleases. In all honesty, it seems like everyone who dies can just walk out and become viable again anyway. In Dragon Ball, they actually use the Dragon Balls for legitimate wishes. Well, you know, wealth, fame, glory, and one sweet pair of panties. And that brings up the topic of it being perverted. I don't know how many times you see Goku's, man parts in the series, but it happens to be a lot. Even in the first few panels of the comic, there's a lot of full frontal. For some reason, Goku has no problem being naked, and Toriyama has no problem drawing him so. There are also lots of mentions of balls, vaginas, penises, a couple butt shots, and of course what they call fan service. One of the main reasons why is because Muten Roshi, or Master Roshi in North America, he is the most perverted thing in the whole series. But you already know that because he's very perverted in Dragon Ball Z as well. All he's looking for is just a hot woman to live with him, because, you know, he's centuries old and he doesn't have anything better to do. The story is told from Goku's perspective, and he doesn't have a grasp on the outside world whatsoever. People having to explain the simplest things to him makes it more honest. Goku's character isn't like he is in Dragon Ball Z. Goku has to be told who the bad guys are and why they are doing bad things because he just doesn't understand. The story doesn't have any of those crazy long, drawn-out fights like Dragon Ball Z does. Actually, the pacing of Dragon Ball almost feels like it's a tad rushed. Everything happens so fast. When Goku meets Karen, it takes like 3 pages for him to get faster and stronger, and then he's already back in the battle, kicking some major ass. Compared to Dragon Ball Z, where it takes 3 books to finish a single fight. There was even one instance where Toriyama was sick, and the author's notes he explains that he rushed a little bit because he could hardly get out of bed. And I mean, that's understandable, but the rest of the series is pretty speedy. It's also a constant revolving door of characters. Characters come and go in almost every adventure. It's always from Goku's perspective, but depending on the journey, the characters come and go as they please. The other thing is that there's really no story arcs like there is in Dragon Ball Z. There are a couple smaller ones, but they seem to bleed into one another. Instead of having sagas, it's more like one continuous story. The main antagonist in the story really is the Red Ribbon Army for the first good chunk, but before then it's all small skirmishes with enemies that are beaten very quickly. After that,
it's Piccolo. This is where things get more like Dragon Ball Z. The story up until now wasn't as serious or tedious as this part was. It wasn't overly violent, except when Goku decimates the Red Ribbon Army. The world's domination wasn't on a thin wire up until now either. Piccolo is truly the first antagonist that poses a serious threat. There are so many deaths in this part, it was almost shocking. After this arc, it leads back into the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament, and that is the most epic battle. Anyway, I'm sure most of you know what happens because the story leads right into Dragon Ball Z. Also, I gotta say, young adult Goku is so damn adorable. Look at his face! It's weird having known the Dragon Ball Z story first, because I know the fate of all the characters in the story. Yajirobe puts up a good fight with Goku in Dragon Ball, but in Dragon Ball Z, he's the weakest character. And Yamcha. Poor Yamcha. The manga has a couple of names that are obviously more true to the original Japanese names. They must have changed them so that North American audiences wouldn't have trouble pronouncing them. Names such as Kame Senin Muten Roshi, which is obviously Master Roshi, Kuririn, which is Krillin, Ten Shinhan, which is Tien, and there is one name that I really got mixed up, and that's Launch, or Lunch. For some reason, I always thought her name was Launch. In the manga, it's Lunch. I don't know, everywhere I look on Google, it's Launch, but these comics say it's Lunch. The wiki has the Japanese pronunciation of Ranchi, which really could go either way. I still like to call her Launch, though. I like that name better. I really don't have too many negatives for the series. It's so damn good. The only real thing is that Toriyama kind of dumps everything from Dragon Ball and never revisits it. Speaking of Launch, Toriyama actually forgot about her. He just said, yeah, well, she kind of just took off or something. When he started Dragon Ball Z, he kind of just wiped the slate clean and was starting over anew. That, and like I said before, some of the pacing is a little bit rushed. But Toriyama had mentioned that he was writing and drawing as he went along. I don't think he had a big team of people pushing him in directions to keep the story moving. He just took the story wherever it ended up. And that's probably why it's so fun. Other than that, I just have one big question. When did Piccolo grow another finger? Or was it just a choice by Toriyama? There is a mistake in Book 5 where Toriyama accidentally drew 5 fingers on King Piccolo, but I really don't know why he only has 4 fingers in the manga and 5 in the anime. Piccolo has 5 fingers in the anime because depicting people and characters with 4 fingers has gang-related stigma around it. Having characters with only 4 fingers is apparently frowned upon. Total page count, 2,853. Total volumes, 5 Viz Big editions or 16 digest-size volumes. Total score, 5 out of 5. This is a must-own series.
Thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun review to do. I really enjoyed Dragon Ball, and I've enjoyed Dragon Ball Z since I was a young wee lad. I don't know why I went Irish there, but... Anyway, thank you once again. It is now 2019. I can't believe that. That is pretty unbelievable. Where is my belief? Who knows? Because I still can't believe it. There has been a really great reception to my channel as of late. Well, at least for me. And there are some videos that have really great views on them, and they're continuing to gain views. My comic book and manga review section has just steadily grown. It just keeps going. I don't know what it is, but thank you so much. And I mean, I've gained a few subscribers, and I'm eternally grateful to them. I think I'm at like 77 at this point, and it's just like... I still don't understand it, and thank you so much, and I really want 2019 to be a great year. This might be saying too much, but I really hope that I can get to 100 subscribers in 2019. We'll see what happens. Might be a pipe dream, but to those of you who have subscribed lately or 3 years ago or 4 years ago now when I started the channel, thank you so much. It's been a great ride. I'm still doing plenty of reviews. I have a bunch written and a few recorded, and things are starting to roll in 2019. It's the year of the rolling. Get your rolling papers out. It's 2019. Anyway, thank you once again. We'll check you later, catch you later. Peace.